Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from the Coralville Center of the Performing Arts production of An Evening with Cole Porter. Masterminds behind the production, Wes Habley and Josh Sazon. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for
It's good to
having
be
us.
here.
Yeah. So what was the genesis of the idea of doing this program?
Well, this is a program that the CCPA has done for quite a few years now, probably about 7 years. What we do, we usually focus on a specific composer from the Great American Songbook. So we've done Gershwin, we've done Berlin, we've done Leonard Bernstein, Jerome Kern, and
R&H.
and R&H, Rodgers and Hammerstein, and we would just spend an evening essentially perusing some of the greatest hits with either an orchestra or on certain numbers with a small jazz combo. And this time out, this is the first time that we're actually doing it with a big band, so we're very excited about this.
Well, and Wes, as music director,
Yes.
that the band is your department.
Yes.
So you've put together, it sounds like, a full big band, 17 pieces, made up
Absolutely.
of a lot of the usual suspects
Right.
of the Iowa City Coralville music scene.
That's right. We have folks who play in the Silver Swing Band, which is the one that I play in, some that play in Suzanne Smith's big band, and then others who I've played with in other bands throughout the last couple of years. Some really good players and hoping to gel together as a great ensemble.
How did you decide what singers you were going to feature?
We do a lot of work with musical theater in the area, so a lot of these singers are people that we've worked with. Now, our male singer, Joe Bauer, has actually worked a lot with Suzanne Smith's band, so he's a veteran with the big bands. And our other two female singers are fairly well versed with singing as well. Marcia Hughes is, I would think, well known to the listeners out there.
A well-known actress in chanteuse.
Yep.
Yeah, well, and she's made the rounds with the big band, too. She sang with the Rod Pearson band off and
There you
on,
go.
I think,
Mhm.
many times.
And we also have a relative youngster in the group, Catherine Halverson, who has done a lot of theater work, both in the Iowa City area, and I think she's branched out to Cedar Rapids as well. If nothing else, it's just to prove that this kind of music can be done by someone who is under the age of, 40, 30. About. So we're looking forward to that one as well.
Well, it's so where do the arrangements, Josh, you mainly do stage direction. So for a concert like this, what's your role? Because Wes is rehearsing with the band and the singers, obviously. What kind of staging and sets are you designing?
Oh heavens! It's a very basic staging. It's nothing like actually mounting a full musical. What interests me, and I do this in conjunction with Wes, is to select the material that is going to be performed. And in these shows, I usually provide some sort of commentary, just putting these songs in context. So think of me as sort of the liner notes of this particular concert,
Oh, okay. So you're the MC.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Well, without going through the entire program line by line, you had a large library of potential songs to choose from. How did you winnow them down?
Well, we have to find the right arrangements for these tunes. It's such, as you alluded to, such a large library of selections to pick from, and we try to do a nice little mix of songs that are relatively familiar and songs that are perhaps a little bit less familiar. Keeping in mind that, we really cannot, much as we would like to, I don't know, extend this into a 4 or 5 hour concert. We have more than enough material for that, but
Yep.
I don't think Wes will stand for that. So we had to narrow it down.
Right.
When you mentioned some of the lesser known songs, what were some of the chestnuts that you pulled out that you think might, surprise the
Oh,
audience
the
a little bit?
chestnuts that we have in there, anything goes. Everyone knows anything goes. The Lovely is another one that's relatively well known. We have a couple of tunes from Kiss Me Kate, which is a Cole Porter musical that is still relatively well done fairly often. And for the lesser ones, we have things like At Long Last Love, which is for jazz aficionados. I'm sure they're familiar with that, but it's a wonderful tune and wonderful lyrics that hardly anyone really knows that much of. You Do Something to Me is another one that's maybe a little bit more obscure. I really wish we had the time and opportunity to do some really obscure ones, but we don't.
Right, right.
Um, Wes, were any of these challenging in any way to either find appropriate arrangements for, or things that were suited to your instrumentation?
Well, it was, we started with about 40 charts, or availability of 40 charts, and we winnowed that down pretty quickly. When you have only like a 3 or 4 rehearsal period, you have to be very careful about what you select. But so the arrangements that we've selected are pretty well-known arrangements. We've got arrangements by Riddle, Neil Hefti, Niehaus, Maltby, Volpe, arrangements done for the San Kenton Band. And many of these will be recognizable because we have Sinatra songs, Steve Lawrence, Ella Fitzgerald. Anything Goes that Marcia's going to sing is the Ella Fitzgerald version of that. And our youngest person, who Josh already mentioned, Katie Halverson, is going to sing the Julie London version of Love for Sale. So we've got, we think we picked some good songs and put them in some good places.
Sounds like a list of winners. It's kind of like picking your favorite child, I know, but thinking back over the last 6 or 7 years of doing this, how do you think this program stands up to your Lerner and Lowe, your Rodgers and Hammerstein?
Honestly, we haven't done Lerner and Lowe yet.
Oh, okay.
In fact, Wes and I were just chatting about that, not to over lunch.
You heard it here first. Lerner and Lowe are coming.
Yes, Evan, if you're listening to this, or
The Lerner and Lowe is very expensive. That's part of the issue.
Okay.
That was another reason for the big band things. The arrangements were relatively inexpensive to get for
commercially
big band.
available, most of them.
Yep.
if I were to pick in terms of composers that I enjoyed doing, Jerome Kern, who is not necessarily as well known these days, not as doesn't have quite the same recognition as, let's say, Gershwin or Rodgers and Hammerstein, but I think he's rather underappreciated. But I have to say, though, that working on Cole Porter, I'm a little bit surprised that it took us this long to get to Cole Porter. Cole Porter was sort of my gateway drug into the Great American Songbook. My first memories of this kind of material has been listening to Sinatra do Cole Porter. It's absolutely intriguing when you have the title like "I've Got You Under My Skin," and I think I was probably 8, 9 at that point. And what the heck was that song all about? And then you put it on, and and I can bop to it. Yeah.
There's a reason they call it the Great American Songbook.
Yeah.
It is.
And Cole Porter has a big long chapter in it.
Oh gosh, yes. The lyrics are so wonderfully literate. The music is catchy as anything. My other experience with Cole Porter was watching Blazing Saddles way back in the day. And someone was asking about a work song that they will sing. And they decide to, and the work group decides to do a nice a cappella version of I Get No Kick from Champagne. And for the longest time, I thought that song was actually written by Mel Brooks. There is a line there in the in that song that says, I get no kick from cocaine," and I thought that, well, that sounds like a Mel Brooks line.
Sure.
And then I saw the original, and by gosh, yes, it was actually written by Cole Porter.
Well, happily, Josh now knows that I Get No Kick from Champagne was written by Cole Porter, so it can be included in this program.
And it is.
And again, not the Mel Brooks, upcoming Mel Brooks night at CCPA.
You know what? Now that you brought that attention,
A challenge.
Yeah.
he has a lot of material.
That's right. It's an evening with Cole Porter, the 23rd, correct?
Yes.
Saturday, September 23rd at the Coralville Center for the Performing Arts. How do people get tickets?
Online.
Coralvillearts.org is the place to get tickets. So that'll take you there, coralvillearts.org.
All right. Excellent. Well, good luck with it. Thank you
All right.
both for being here.
Thank
much.
you. Appreciate it.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture, or using your favorite podcast app. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.